Testimony, of course, comes days of the president bitterly denouncing James Comey and his testimony last week. Let's bring in our political analyst, John Keller. And did Sessions say anything today that really, in your eyes, undercut what Comey said last week?
Yeah, not really, David, other than disputing Comey's claim that, you may recall, he sensed the Attorney General felt helpless to rein in the president. He, however, referred to Comey as an experienced figure who he trusted to handle his duties properly. And while he did criticize Comey's handling of the Hillary Clinton email fiasco last year, Sessions passed up multiple opportunities to join in the organized Comey-Bashing that the president and others have engaged in. I thought that was a very interesting turn of events.
So significant that he didn't really go after Comey at all, like you might have thought he would have.
Right, because it's yet another example of something I thought we saw in last week's committee questioning of Comey, particularly by conservative Republicans. Even the most staunchly pro-Trump Republicans, while willing to challenge the unproven implications of collusion with the Russians, seem unwilling to parrot the latest White House talking points. Sessions did become angry today at a couple of points when his own integrity was questioned, but he took a pass on opportunities to spring to the president's defense, particularly against some of the charges that Comey made.
Which is interesting, especially since the president gave him this job. So where does this leave the president right now politically?
Well, you know, still sort of stuck where he was yesterday, where he's been for the last several months, David. Furious over the ongoing distraction all of this causes, and likely still pretty ticked off at Sessions, who he has reportedly accused of not doing enough to defend him in this whole Russia mess. Sessions did him no favors today by refusing to answer most of the questions that involved Mr. Trump, repeatedly saying, I don't recall, or I can't comment on that. And one more thing, David, there was a significant related development today. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who heads the Justice Department now that Sessions has recused himself because of the Russia probe, he told another committee in Congress that he wouldn't be pressured to fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller without really good cause, and he doesn't see good cause. Yet another signal from a Trump administration figure they're not going to risk their reputations to carry his water.
Of course, there was that report last night that there was a friend of Trump's who supposedly said that he might fire the special counsel, but the whole thing would seemingly jump the shark at that point.
I'll tell you, that would be like pouring gasoline on a fire. There's no way of telling with this White House what might happen next.
150 days into the presidency, about that.
It's really something.
This is where we are. John Keller, thank you.